Colorado authorities releasing the charges for the man accused of setting 8 people on fire in that targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Officials say he's now being charged with a hate crime that's federally. And this is what they found. They found at least 14 unlit Molotov cocktails on his person, along with that makeshift flamethrower. The Molotovs comprised of glass wine carafe bottles or ball jars containing clear liquid and red rags hanging out of the bottles. He made these himself. In fact, it says that he researched on YouTube how to do this. And later, during an interview with the officials, the suspect stated outright, and he's talking, he stated he wanted to, quote, kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead. He also stated that he would do it again. Emily, he also said during this interview he specifically targeted the Zionist group that had gathered in Boulder. He knew they planned to meet that day, Sunday at 1 p.m. He arrived at 12:55 and waited for them.
As you saw from the intro, an illegal immigrant attempted to do a terror attack. It's been designated as a hate crime. You're targeting a group because of their skin color, origin. It's a hate group, right? Just like when if a black dude ran into a crowd of white people, I'll designate that as a hate crime because it had malicious intent, right? And one of the things that the left is running into a problem is that they keep trying to do this whataboutism. They keep trying to downplay the impacts of how having mass migration, especially when it's a bunch of illegal immigrants, they made numerous attempts to downplay this stuff. And this is some of the problems that irks me about the left, and I think why a lot of Americans don't trust the Democratic Party. And their attempts to try to shift blame or try to downplay the impacts, this kind of stuff is what annoys me, frankly. A quick reminder that the days before an illegal immigrant attacked Americans in Colorado, Chris Cuomo made it a priority to tell everyone illegal immigrants murdering Americans was an artificial problem. This is the kind of stuff that catches Democrats lacking.
Change how I feel about the parties. They are the problem. They are the root of this binary battle to the bottom. The division is almost exclusively manufactured. We are fighting over culture issues and controversies that are completely made up. We divide this country over a single homicide of somebody, and it's absolutely wrong. What happened to Laken Riley is horrible. It's one too many. Any way you want to.
It's not just Lincoln Riley, though. There are numerous stories of young girls getting sexually assaulted by illegals. There were stories where 3 out of 4 crime in New York was committed by illegal immigrants. This guy, maybe he's just like unaware of these things. And this is what I'm talking about when I say liberals. Sometimes they don't pay attention. They don't actually want to like dig deep into why people feel the way that they do. And the reason this terror attack happened in the first place is because Biden let these people in. Don't believe me? Let's take a look.
As far as releasing so many people, you know why the Biden administration released millions of people in the United States? No one ever talks about it. I'll talk about it. Why did they release people into the interior of the United States and put them, rather than put them into an ice bed? Why not put them in an empty ice bed at $127 a night rather than in a hotel room at $500 a night? They did it on purpose because when you put them in an ice detention bed, they get a hearing in 35 days. Court records show 9 out of 10 people claim asylum, get order removal, they're gone. But if you release them and put them in a hotel room at $500 a night, their hearings could be 5, 7, 9 years if you pull out all appeals. And what are they hoping for then? That another Democrat administration is in power. They can warrant amnesty to millions. This is about selling this country out for future political power. That's what it was. The law clearly says if you arrive at our border without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not maybe, not think about it, shall. And that's what President Trump's doing. Catch and release is over. That's what the law says, and that's what we've done.
These violent attacks in recent months, Governor Shapiro's house, the attack and murders outside the Jewish Museum. It is also a problem on the right. I mean, in addition to the Tree of Life synagogue killing in Pittsburgh, which is obviously homicidal, there's been reporting recently that the Pentagon press secretary, Kingsley Wilson, has a history of social media posts pushing anti-Semitic tropes, extremist theories. NPR reports it has identified 3 Trump officials with close ties to anti-Semitic extremists like Nick Fuentes. I think, and again, the problem right now that we're seeing in terms of violence is on the left. And I want to make it clear, I'm not whataboutism. I'm not doing whataboutism. But it is really difficult to be a Jew in America and not see this as a bipartisan affliction.
So, you saw from the clip, I showed Tom Homan talking about how Biden administration kind of facilitated this opportunity for this attack to happen because this guy, the border terror attack, the terrorists, he was supposed to be deported long ago. And you see a pattern here. All of them came under the Biden administration. And you wonder why Biden administration, many Americans believe that Biden administration was going in the wrong direction, right? You made Kamala Harris the border czar. So you can technically make a claim that this all happened under Kamala Harris's watch, and you expected her to change her habits after 4 years of just not doing anything on the border to somehow change it. And Tom Homan also exposed some of the political conflict of interest of allowing massive illegal immigration into the country, right? And the funny part is, you see the spin job. Jake Tapper is trying to make this, it's both sides, both partisan people made a violent attacks. One is criticism. Nick Fuentes criticized Israel. Maybe he makes some off-color jokes. Maybe he says things he's not supposed to say. But what violence has they actually, the right has actually attributed onto Jewish people? That's what I want to know. Because all I see is Democrats making excuses, Democrats trying to change the script, right? Because here's the funny part. James Raskins, he somehow twisted the terror attack with Molotov cocktails, and he tried to turn it into a pitch for gun control legislation. Does that make sense to you? And then you find out, right, when you dig into it, let's just leave this here for Rep. Raskins. He said that he has previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen. Was not a legal citizen in Boulder, Colorado. If you imagine this is how I'm thinking, right? If an illegal comes and say, I want to buy a gun, and you find out he's not a citizen, why wasn't ICE called right there and then? But you got you got Colorado governor protecting these people. This is why I'm saying you can't do whataboutism with this attack, because these, you call them terrorists. Trump talked about how not Donald Trump. Biden has let in numerous amount of illegals into this country without properly vetting them. This is as much on the This is more on the Democrats than it is on the Republicans, and they're fake pretending to try to make this it's a bipartisan problem on both sides. One side criticizes Israel, criticizes, hey, should we be even aligned with Israel? That's the right, by the way. And one side physically wants to hurt people of Jewish descent. That's the difference. One is criticism to the point of insulting Jewish people. That's the right. That's the most negative I think I can go with the right. Oh, we make fun of the Jewish people. We make someone say conspiracy theorists, but hey, these are just people who are skeptical of America being aligned with Israel. That's the most I can say based on what I know so far. Our party does not handle the border appropriately. Did not handle the border appropriately. 267,000 to 300,000 people showed up at our border. That's a national security issue, and that's chaos. John Fetterman. But Democrats don't want to talk about this problem. They want to say gun control. Oh no, it's not because of open borders that we got all these terrorists in our country. It's because of gun control. Yeah, that makes sense. 4 months into Trump's administration, the Washington Post is marveling at the mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures on the Mexican border. The opening line literally, after years of confiscating rise amount of fentanyl, the opioid that has fueled the most lethal drug has mysteriously went down. Oh, when Trump was saying that, hey, they're smuggling fentanyl across the border, you thought it was a non-problem. And this is the dismissiveness of the Democratic Party that I talk about a lot. The Democrats have a bad habit of dismissing problems that's inconvenient to their narrative. That's the case. This is the case. And the fact that they try to do this both sides, it's an annoying, most annoying aspects of the Democratic Party.
Left has a problem with violence. It is in its heart right now.
I don't think it is only the left. I mean, you have literally seen people on both sides committing violence. I think that the problem is not the left. I think it is the extremes on both sides of the party. And that is what's happening. Like they're the loudest voices, whether the leaders want them or not, and they're the ones who tend to be the most violent. I don't think that's fair to say it's only the left. I mean,
why but why is it happening? Why do late night comedians go on TV and encourage or coddle or give lip service to this vandalism of what went on with Tesla dealerships and so on? Why are there so many prominent people?
People didn't
like,
get hurt.
I totally get why
when
Luigi
someone died on January 6th.
Like, why? I don't understand.
Listen, I'm not for vandalism.
No one died in these attacks. Well, someone could. You firebombing Teslas. Like, what are you talking about? One day you're going to catch somebody in their Tesla and you're going to do it and you're going to kill somebody, right? And this is one thing with the left. The left don't care about private property, but someone worked their ass off, blood, sweat, tears, to get in a position where they can afford their property, and you just destroy, and you think there should be no repercussions for these people? And the terror attack was meant to, hey, we want to make your life a living hell. That's not terrorism? Isn't that what terrorism is? You block these people blocking streets on college campuses, people saying, yo, we need to stop letting them do these free Palestine's protest stuff. Who's more likely to say that? That's the left. That's a violent kind of rhetoric, right? But you want to equate a false equivalency with the right. Oh, Nick Fuentes makes off-color jokes, right? He makes not so good jokes, right? People say it was racist, that he's a racist, white supremacist. Like, they just throw all the labels on this kid, right? Because he says some things that, a lot of people don't like, but you want free speech. He criticized Israel. Somehow that's anonymous with anti-Semitism when it's just being practical, saying, hey, should a nation like America be so closely aligned with Israel, right? Should America be used almost like Israel's big brother, right? Anything Israel do, everyone's scared to go back at Israel because they know America is going to go step in. Is that in our benefit? You call that anti-Semitism, being critical of our relationship with Israel? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I said the same thing about the European Union. No one gives me no flack. I talk about how the European Union essentially uses America like a slave state, and you think I can't do that same criticism with Israel? Hey, too many foreign interests in America influencing our government to not work in our best interest, but in their best interest. I don't like that. America first. It's consistent, right? Hey, we don't want to go to war with Iran. All these people who are in the pocket of certain NGOs, certain interests want us to go to war with Iran, whether it's defense companies, weapon companies, who knows, steel, I don't know. The right has some skepticism about that, and all of a sudden you get called anti-Semitic. This is what happens when, this is the same argument I give to race hustlers. Jewish people can't just keep coloring anything they don't like as anti-Semitic, because then when something actually happens that is warranted to be called anti-Semitic, you got a guy from Egypt, an illegal from Egypt, specifically waiting and targeting a location where he knows there's going to be a lot of Jewish people at. That's actual anti-Semitism. Then when you try to cast down on anything, it starts to lose its weight. It's just a warning to Jewish people out there. Yo, the boy who cried, you cry anti-Semitism a little too much, you're going to get exactly what's going on with the black community right now with racism. No one cares about being called racist anymore. So please use these terms sparingly. That's all. That's the only warning I'm going to give. That's the only warning I'm going to give, because I get tired of it. Any criticisms of political interest with Jewish people, somehow you get called anti-Semitic. Do violence against Jewish people, you get called anti-Semitic. One I agree with, the other I don't. I'm allowed to criticize you, right? Just like that's like I believe a white person can criticize a black person and not be called a racist just because the white person happened to say some inconvenient truths about the outcomes of the black community.
Like,
it's more than that. They firebomb these things. Like it's obviously
it's dangerous, but it's happening on both sides.
What person on the right is committing violence today?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, when you're in power, you don't tend to be the ones that are doing that. But I think after they lost the election in 2020, there was a mob and a person died, and it was a riot at the Capitol. It was crazy.
A person died. Who was the person? One of the rioters. Can't make this up. But violence on the right. Go back 5 years. We can go back 2 years. We can go back to 2020. Summer of Love. We can go to Chaz, Seattle, destroying police stations. More deaths occurred on BLM riots than in the January 6th riot. But you want to point that as a comparable example. Make it make sense.
It was a terrible day, and it should not have happened.
It was a horrible day, and
it's not the
only
only example. Let me just check my calendar, and it was 5.5 years ago.
Can we also talk about the fact that someone broke into Nancy Pelosi's house and violently beat up her husband?
You're saying that homeless drug addict is a conservative?
Well, I mean, why do you think she was targeted?
Why do I think a literal crazy homeless person in San Francisco did something? I couldn't begin to tell you, but I know it's this.
Imagine equating like homeless. And this is the problem with the left. They categorize anything that's not upfrontly them as right wing. That's their excuse. Dude could have been a libertarian. Don't care. We'll associate him with the right. Make it make sense. It's the same thing. It's the same game they tried to play when Trump almost got assassinated. Oh, the guy was a registered Republican, but he donated to the Democratic Party. He wanted Joe Biden to win. He supported Joe Biden. How is he not a Democrat? It looked like he changed his political opinions, and yeah, he's a Democrat. Oh, no. Donations don't matter. Always making excuses. Always trying to shift their way out of responsibility. And I think that's one of the number one reasons why people can't trust Democrats, specifically me.
People on both sides have faced assassination attempts. This is a thing that is not just,
what assassination attempts that Democrats faced? The only Democrat I know that ever got assassinated was JFK. All other presidents that were assassinated was not Democrats, were Republicans. Abraham Lincoln. You got Ronald Reagan that had an assassination attempt. You had Donald Trump with an assassination attempt. There has never been an assassination. I don't want to say never, but Republicans get targeted more. There's stories out there where there was a Republican congresswoman who got attacked and she got killed. So if you're saying both sides do it, okay, my argument is who do it more? The left. Whose speakers get assaulted because they're trying to speak on college campuses? The right. Always. These liberals keep pretending, oh, we're anti-fascist, Antifa, and you're attacking people. Y'all remember the gun girl? I forgot her name. Y'all remember the gun girl in the early 2016s, 2017s? She used to go on college campuses, and these leftists will mob her. It's ridiculous. You can find numerous attempts of obstructing, conservatives trying to speak. You're trying to spread dangerous ideas. They say that to justify their physical attacks on conservative speakers. Carl Rittenhouse went to University of Memphis. I don't know who set him up for that one. Got mobbed by a bunch of black people, Black Lives Matters activists, attacking his car, looking for him. You want to forget about Riley Gaines? She went on the college campus and she had to hide herself in a classroom door because she was surrounded by these people, fearing for her life. Give me examples like that on the right, doing that to left-wing speakers. You can't find it. You'll be struggling to find it, but you want to say it's both sides. And even if I grant you that argument, it is both sides. Only one side is willing to condemn the violence on their own side. The other isn't. And that's the liberal left. Liberals play these games. Oh, we're playing tribal games. We won't recognize left-wing violence. We categorize anything that's not just left out and make it right-wing. Person can be a progressive. Oh, he's not a liberal. Right-wing. This is the game they play. And they only focus on right-wing violence. They only want to pay attention to right-wing violence. What about left-wing violence? If it's both sides, how come you don't pay attention to your own side? And how come you don't hold your own side accountable for their violence? Instead, you sit there making excuses. I digress.
It's not just a singular party thing. And I don't buy that. Like, it's not a singular party thing. Mm. There are radicals on the left and there are radicals on the right.
Sure. But on the left, the radicals get, shielded, they get protected. People make excuses for them, right? Like I remember vividly Abby Phillips on the CNN panel that, Scott Jennings argues with every day of his life and get paid poverty good money for. I remember when the Tesla firebomb was going on, She was saying, "Oh, why are we banning speech?" Right? She attested the firebombing to being protest. Oh, you're allowed to speak out against something you don't like. Why should people be prosecuted for it? I'm like, yo, these people are damaging people's properties. These people are making websites where they track the Tesla numbers because Tesla has software in it, so they're able to track every owner's Tesla and say, hey, these are all the Teslas that's here in California. And people are like, yo, take my Tesla off the website. Oh, we're only going to take it off the website if you prove that you sold your Tesla. This is the kind of threats that left-wing radicals are doing. Did the liberals call them out? Did anyone on the left call these people out and say they shouldn't be doing this? Nope. And this is the problem. Even if I agree with you, there's radicals on both sides, right? Only the right holds their radicals accountable. Only their right tries to distance and condemn the actions of their radicals. The left don't. The Free Palestine protesters, those are left-wing radicalists. We can agree to that. And then when the right holds them accountable and sends them back to their home country, you make excuses saying, oh my God, you're banning free speech. You're making excuses for them. But you have the goal to try to do this whataboutism. You have the goal to try to spread the blame around. Typical Democrat tactic. And this is why no one trusted the Democratic Party. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.